Hello, hello. Hey, Maddie, how are you? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time it is for everyone. Give me just a sec. I feel like it's too bright in my room. That's the wrong light. How's the weekend? Weekend was good. Spent most of it inside. Um, but there was a while where we definitely weren't getting springtime just out of winter weather. Starting to stabilize a bit more though. So, um, no reason in particular. Actually, that's a lie. I did go out a lot more this weekend than I usually do. What did I do? Oh, a friend invited me to like a monster truck thing. A little ways away. Not really my thing, but he was excited to go see it, and I didn't want to dampen that excitement. Yeah, it was cool. Exactly. I'm not gonna be like, monster trucks, no, gross. Like, especially if someone likes a thing, I don't know, that's not the right reaction to have. But it was fun, I had fun. Hey, OMS, how you doing? How you doing? How's the game remake coming? Hey, Albo, good to see you too. Yeah, I have some social awareness. Not the most, but I'd like to think I make good decisions sometimes. Am I reading anything good? I don't know how to read, actually. Yeah, it's a shame. But unironically, I haven't been. Do you have any recommendations? I think kind of by now you understand my tastes a little bit. Mostly like horror, fantasy. I'm choking on water somehow. Hey, Nibble, good to see you. Oh, I'll tell you one thing I had to do this weekend. I bought a shaved ice maker. I had one before, but like, it wasn't good. It was more so just like made chunky, small chunks ice. This one's like actually a good shaved ice machine, and it's a new addiction. It is such a convenient snack, and it's just ice and like sugar. But I saw it in stores when I was grocery shopping, and I was very easily convinced to get it. I think there was a bug last time where if you have the UI pop up and then you open the inventory, what was it? If you interact, open inventory, and then use an item, it does that. So let's go ahead and see if we can fix that very quickly. I think that should be easy enough to do. Working on some puzzle stuff. The idea is, I don't want to show the puzzles, so that when people get to experience it for the first time, people who watch the streams and chat and interact and provide feedback, I want their exposure to it to be, I guess, unspoiled. But I feel like I can at least build the systems behind it without really revealing what the puzzles are. So when it comes to like, I don't know where I kept it, but I've just been calling things like point A, point B, and so on. to keep it a little bit more vague. And then I just have written down notes up above me that, oh, let's also change the music to Lo-Fi Girl so we don't get too bored. Level prototyper, level instance, progress tracker, this. So calling it point A, point B, point blah, blah, blah. This will have actual names for me to use to recognize better. But for the stream, I have these. Yeah, that's the save room music from the first Resident Evil. I like it a lot, but mostly because of nostalgia. I'm gonna pay very good attention to your code to see if you can figure out and spoil it for everybody. Okay. While you're at it, can you let me know if there are any bugs? And not like the entomology type. Bookwise, I'm reading a parenting book that doesn't apply to you, and the fiction I'm reading is trash, so I can't recommend. Fair enough. Okay. So this toggles the widget. I'm guessing toggle widget is meant to close existing widgets? Okay, yeah. B is widget open. So it's not closing the current widget? How am I opening it? I thought this would have been easier than it actually is ending up being. Item used on. Began reading a book called Game Tech. The math and science behind games. You might like it. Ooh. Plus the psychology. Interesting, interesting. Might have to check that out. Yeah, I do want to read more. I also just want to, like, start collecting physical books. Because they're partly, like, decoration also. Okay, open interactable widget event. I don't know if that's mine. It's not. Is that coming from here? It is. No. It's not doing anything. Big fan of physical books. No, don't collect things, they will weigh you down. But it's just nice to have a shelf of books. I mean, maybe just it's not worth the aesthetics carrying a whole bunch. Especially in an apartment. Open interactable widget event. This is not the right one, but this... What? This isn't doing anything. But how is it doing stuff? Oh. It's worth it. You gotta get yourself a nice bookshelf and collect. I see, I see. But it would seem, by the way, I'm correct. This isn't doing anything. Oh, you've had those books for 10 years or so. I'm guessing that's prior to... Oh, activate Puzzle Cam. Although this isn't getting the widget. Different books from different phases of life. That's cool. That's kind of how I am with video games. Not quite the same level of elegance, though.
Here's my game collection. I have Star Fox for the Nintendo 64.
Okay, how do I open... How have I been opening widgets? I'm guessing it's... I can just look at whoever is calling the widget manager. That's equip item. Set widget type. Get widget type. Okay, I don't need either of those, I think. Display existing widget. Close active widget. I'm guessing this is the last of them. And then move, and then inventory. Okay. I think what needs to happen... Still love it, thank you. I have this thing about giving books away after you read them. Just a great way to pass on your, I don't know, energy. Let me look up something. I'm trying to make sure that what I'm about to explain isn't like exclusive to my area. I doubt it. Okay, no, it seems like a thing across the country, and I would assume across multiple. But there's like these boxes around neighborhoods where it's like you can just drop off extra books that you have. And it's not like a donation thing to where it goes to a library or something. No, it lives in that little box. It's like this wooden box that kids in the neighborhood can go to just grab and read. And then when they're done with it, they put it back in the box for other kids in the neighborhood. Yeah, a little free library. Yeah, exactly. Okay. It looks like what I was trying to do is display existing widget. So if we go back, activate puzzle cam. Oh, I see. Okay. I don't know if it's gonna show up. Oh, it does. Okay, sweet. And then we just connect this instead. And then we find all the references here where it should be the other way. So the reason I was confused a bit earlier was because even though this here isn't the correct node to call, it was still kind of working. And the reason is this node doesn't actually open or display the widget. It just keeps track of it so that it can close it again later, which is why it wasn't closing. And then I think those are all the references, at least in this file. Luckily, we can go back here and we can see who else is using this. I think. No. I wish it would show me who's using this across the classes. Because if I had to guess, this is probably doing the same thing. Yeah. And this looks like it has other issues too that didn't get saved. I thought I fixed it. Boom. Can I control F? This is hard to get into with me being so secretive. Well, this part isn't all that secretive yet. It's when the when I open the door, it displays text telling me that it's locked. But the text doesn't go away when it's supposed to. It's the actual layout of the map and kind of how these pieces work together and what the key items are that's secretive. But yeah, this is a little bit more technical than we usually get when we talk about game design. And then there were other issues here. Yeah, this. I don't know why this didn't get saved last time. A sneaking suspicion it's happening somewhere else? Okay, no, it's not. I'm gonna save all. Hopefully this should fix the bug. Let's see. Oh, hey, is your name? It's going good. Sorry I didn't see that until just now. Hope you're also having a good Monday. Gosh, it sucks that it's Monday again. Like, weekend feels too short. There we go, that did fix the bug though. And so the other thing too that we did last time is we made it so that when we restart the level, we're keeping track of all the states. And so on level load, it brings us back to how it was before. And that's happening because of the game instance, which is somewhere. Is this it? No. Here it is. I know, I thought it was Sunday today. Luckily for me, I got spring break next week. So you're going to see the new Mario. I want to see that so bad. It comes out tomorrow, right? they released a new poster for it, which kind of, in my mind, seemed like a massive spoiler. So I'm not gonna actively say it here, but I might still respond to like chat messages talking about it in case anyone else saw it. But yeah, I want to see it. But Monday is over, so there's that. True, but then I still have Tuesday, and then Wednesday, and Thursday, and then Friday. I try to break it up a little bit, like, mentally. I used to do, like, my weekly grocery shopping at the end of the week. But now I do that on, like, Thursdays. So in my mind, it's like, oh, Thursday's the last day of the week. I don't know. It makes zero sense, but I tricked my brain into making it make sense. Another start to a new week of your great life. It's not the Monday that's bad. It's the fact that I have to wake up early in the morning and sit in a cubicle. Granted, I am grateful for the job that I have, because I know plenty of people don't have good jobs right now. I just like to complain. What are we doing next? This. We all like to complain. Complaining just makes it feel better. What's the point of doing something and not being able to complain? Nope, not accepting complaints from Ooh. I'm team Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Maddie. You bond ever complain? Just remember that the last Amazing Digital Circus episodes are releasing on your birthday month. Ooh. I mean, hey, it's a cool birthday gift. I saw a rumor that said they might do a theatrical release of it. I don't know if that's true. But I mean, I feel like the show is popular enough to warrant maybe like some theaters if they were to do that. But again, I think that might have just been people making shit up. Yeah, it's been an interesting show. I'm glad they're not trying to milk it. Wow, favoritism much? Jeez. Okay, what was I about to do? I was like organizing my workspace up here, and then I forgot what I was about to work on. Here it is. Okay. How do I get rid of this? Yeah, I minimized it. That worked. Last time. So this I want to keep. This. Event begin play. So, I think I am slightly changing how I'm designing this. Last time, so the way that this works is when you do something and that triggers something else, one of the easiest ways to design that is just to have it like directly talk to the thing. So when you turn on the power, it turns on the lights. The issue is, when you reload the level, I want it to remember that the player powered on the generator and turned on the lights. And so that's why we have this level master. Or level manager. Or level instance. I call it different things all the time, and it's never consistent. And the name that I give it changes for any random reason. Anyway. So what I'm doing is when this thing changes, so like the player interacts with something and they turn it from like a 0 to a 1. I write that to the level master and it keeps track of that. This thing persists on reload. So when I restarted the level, the value that I wrote to it didn't get reset. Before, what I was doing is I was writing to it and then also just directly turning on the light. And then on reload, what was happening is I just had the level master, well, a little bit even more complicated than that. On begin play, I had the object talk to the level master, see if something had changed, or see if something was written there before, and if it was, it would come back and then turn on the light through this actor. I think what is probably going to be better is to not do that. And in fact, not have this thing talk to this at all, but instead have the level instance handle it. That way on reload, it's just this part. So that's my thinking. There was a leak on the Cinemark website or something, but I'm planning on watching it at home with some of the friends. And that's nice. Just kind of chilling out. Random How Do You Need a Podcast where they talk about mess. Look, doing chores is one of the... Okay, doing chores isn't the best feeling. But living in a chore accomplished space is. It's hard to find the motivation to do the adult responsibility things. You love chores. I hate them. But just before I started stream, I did the dishes. Because I knew that I was out of the good microwavable bowls, and I like making soup. Because it's easy and quick. But I ran out of bowls that I can microwave with. So I had cold soup. Dishes are a D-tier chore, exactly. Even with the dishwasher, like, I know that that's a privilege too, but look, a guy's allowed to complain. Okay. We're gonna make a couple new functions. First one is alright, audience participation time. What name would you guys give this part here? Where I am executing a task to change the state of another actor. So like turning the lights on, opening the door, powering on the elevator, things like that, to where in the function parameter I say, this is the object I want to change, this is what I'm changing it to. So like lights and then on. But it's not always going to be lights. It could be something like door, and then also just true, which true in this case would be like open or something. Maybe change state? The wire? A little too vague. I like state. Change. I want a noun. Ooh, state update. I like state update. In JavaScript, it's use state. Use? I don't really understand the context of that. So, very likely, this I might eventually change from a Boolean, which only has two types, true or false, to an integer. And then 0 is false, 1 is true, but then I have more range for like different states that the thing can be in. So for a light, you know, there's on or off. There's not much more I can do with that, so Boolean makes sense. And I can't really think of too many instances where I would want to change a state to something more than one of those two binary things. But a good example might be like an elevator. What floor is the elevator on? It's more than just a 1 or a 2. On level reload, I don't think there are a lot of instances where I would want to put the elevator on a specific floor. But maybe? I don't know. You're down for the podcast. There has to be snacks in Cherry Coke. Best I can do is a PNG of those things. Or a JPEG. You got a new microfiber broom cover? Why does the broom need a microfiber cover? I just toss it in the closet. Am I missing something? By not having this? No.img? Is .img a thing? Also, I'm realizing Daisy's still asleep. Not that she does all that much. But she deserves to be here too. Yes, you are microfiber for life. I mean, it's cool for like cleaning dust off of glass and glass adjacent things. Is she awake? Okay, yeah, she's good. As someone with 3 dogs and 2.5 kit. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Coin? I really do need to get a place to make all the commands. Oh, there it is, luck. Okay, you did remember it. Okay, state update. So, this is where we take a little detour. We go back to our interactable interfaces, or interface, and we're going to add a new one. Called state update. I was debating whether or not to make a new interface type, but I figure there are probably some things that the player will interact with that I will want to preserve on reload, like a lever being flipped. And so it would make sense to... Oh, this has the same name, though. Actor state update. Save and recompile. Save all, actually. Feel like being nice to the bot? Good. Soon enough, they will be our overlords, and they will remember who called them clankers and who didn't. I mean, you need a microfiber broom and you'll join the cult. All the dirt and dust. Well, okay, you said it was a cover for the broom. Is it the broom itself is micro? Oh, do you sweep? You put the microfiber on top of the base broom and you have like it's like a modification. And now you have broom 2.0. I see. Question. Is that not just a Swiffer? Dirty Clanker is gonna swarm you like the original Doom game. I don't think I've ever played the original Doom game. Swiffer you can't wash and reuse. Oh. Okay, back to domestic life question. Maybe Maddie, you've figured this out because I have not. I have a solution. I doubt it's the best one. So I live like in a multi-floor apartment complex. So like let's say this window is me. How do you clean the outside of the window? How do you do that? I bought this thing on Amazon where it's like it's got little blades on it. And then it's got a second piece that's a magnet. And then you open up the window halfway and then like you join them together and then you close the window and then you do it that way. Yeah, they use that for fish tanks. I am not in a fish tank though. Don't know if that was clear or not. But is that all? Is that the best thing for multi-level window cleaning? Do you hear neighbors above you? No, my neighbors are usually pretty silent. You got ads? Oh, shoot. Sorry, Twitch. And this is a pain too, because it's like, I always miss the corners. And then I just got like these weird smudgy spots. I assume you can't pop the window in and off. I would assume not either, but I've also never tried. I also don't trust myself to not drop it. Just being a little honest there. It would say on the latch. Oof, man. Another reason to learn how to read. Okay. So now that that's compiled, I recompile this. I'd be worried about the magnet bit falling off. I'm less concerned about that than I am the window itself falling off. Oh, and it has a string to it too. So if it falls off, it doesn't go very far. Although I think the concern would be that it falls, but the string just smashes the magnet piece into my neighbor's window. I don't know. It hasn't happened yet. I've been pretty good about the magnet technique. Okay, so we do have the actor state update here. In the game instance, we can do get all actors with interface. Can I do with interface with tag? Get all actors with interface. I want to do both. Can your downstairs neighbor hear you? I don't know. I'd like to think not. I try not to be too loud. I don't know if this is true, but I heard that the illiteracy rates are pretty high and still growing. I blame text-to-speech and technology. I'd say get a coat hanger or a nice wood wand and slap a damp microfiber sleeve on it. And you can apply pressure for the corners. What are you doing to disturb your neighbors? Honestly, not much. I'm either just like here tapping away on my computer, or I'm sleeping, or watching TV. Get all actors of is this the only thing that has tags? I'm guessing I can't do interactable, like that's an interface, not a interactable. No. Okay, so I've just got to do get all actors with tag. For real, I bet he's a super quiet, nice neighbor. I try to be. Okay, let me think of the best way to do this. If I... Okay, this is probably the best way. I want to convert this to a string. Oh, it even lets me do that. Nice. And then we do a for each. And then we want to do a cast to interactable interface. And then we want to do a actor state update. He blasts Green Day. Look, I just listened to whatever music my brother had on his old iPod Touch. Because I didn't know how to put more songs on it. Also, this should not return a bool. This should be void. And this should input a bool. New state. Is it supposed to be camel case? Oh, I'm not consistent whatsoever. Okay, cool. Like, this is a capital, this is camel case. What's the... This is camel case, none of these are. I'm sure, it's fine, it's fine. Need to bring back iPods. I was about to say yeah, but it's like, don't phones already kind of do that? Unless it's like, just for kids to have. It is fine, it's fine. Actor state update. I want music only for kids, yeah. I'm sure they still make MP3 players. Honestly, if they made iPods today, and they might still make iPods, like, they would probably force you to, like, always have it connected to the internet, and then you have to make an Apple account, and back, like, oh no, I'm about to say back in the day, I'm old. But back in the day, you bought technology, and it worked when you powered it on. You didn't need to scan a QR code and go through the setup phase. You didn't need to connect to Wi-Fi. You just plugged it in, or turned it on, and boom, you've got your magic device. The other thing that I'm wanting to complain about, unrelated, touchscreens in cars. Get them out. Touchscreens, cool. I get it. They're cheap because you don't have to design new buttons if you want something new. Makes sense for most things. I change my AC by feeling where the button is. I cannot feel a touchscreen to turn on my AC. Luckily, I don't have, like, my my AC isn't the touchscreen control, but a lot of newer cars are trying to do that. Streaming services are also ridiculous. Yeah, I'm lucky that I never really got too much into cable. You know, hence the whole I just don't watch things thing. But I think that's a very common sentiment. And if it breaks, you're yeah. Versus fixing a button. Random thing, but even though I was born in 2011, I grew up with the Wii. When did the Wii come out? I just typed in release date. I didn't even type in Wii release date. 2006. Not 6 years old. When did the Wii... I guess no one played the Wii U. 2012. When did the Switch come out? 2017. I mean, I guess, because at that point, like, the Wii was the last good Nintendo console. And even when the Switch had come out, it was still probably new and expensive and hard to get, even until, like, after the pandemic. And Nintendo's always very much been the best game console you can get for children. Like, they've always been really good with that. So I'm not too surprised. Touchscreens in vehicles is the stupidest decision ever. I don't mind the tiny ones, but the giant iPads and the Teslas are stupid. You need to constantly update your car and something doesn't work anymore. Yeah. Yumi and Raph are normal. Hey, I think you're forgetting someone in that that list there. Just maybe. So another thing, unrelated to, back to the game development. I don't know if there is a begin play in the game instance. Okay, Gen Z. Look. When is Gen Z? I am like barely making the cutoff for Gen Z, okay? I am not 2012 Gen Z. Okay, I am a 90s child. I grew up with the Video Now, the black and white one. Okay? Elder Z, there you go, thank you. The respect I deserve. The game instance event begin play. Is there an init? Opportunity for blueprints to handle the game instance being initialized. What does that mean? Init in game instance is something like begin play and actors. No matter if this, you can use characters. This guy on the Unreal Engine forum just gave all word salad and did not answer the question. Awesome. Love to see it. I had a flip phone pretty early on. so that my parents could at the very least contact me. I didn't get a smartphone until like, I don't know, probably like mid high school. Do elders get a discount at the bowling alley? I certainly don't. The book you're reading is called The Anxious Generation. It discusses this exactly. A phone-based childhood versus real life. Yeah, I feel bad for a lot of the newer generation. I grew up in a time where technology was like moderately to pretty helpful, but you still relied on a lot of your own intuition and a lot of what you could and couldn't do. And you learned. You learned from not being able to do things. Um, you learn from like taking time to have to figure things out. But now that's kind of gone. It was the portability that ruined childhood. Yeah, I remember we had like a dedicated computer room with the old like block monitors. Bowling alleys are so fun, but high-key gross. Yeah, depends on where you go, I suppose. Let's see. Grub digging a hole at the side of the hill in my backyard and making swords out of wiper blades. Now, kids my age are incredibly cut off from reality. Oh yeah, all just like the imagination of playing in the backyard with like a stick, that's gone. I think I would have hated being bombarded with so much at a young age. I like that I had nothing to think about. Yeah, it was either a video I saw or something that talked about like it's good to just let your mind kind of roam in a vacuum for a while, like not think, not listen to music, or like if you do instrumental music like this. Still trying to figure out if there's a good way to do this. Not watch streamers. Streaming kind of existed when I was growing up, but it was still very niche. Like, it was all hosted on, like, their specific platform. Like, the best thing I can think of is, like, Zelda Dungeon .net, I think. They would do, like, charity live streams, or they would play through all the Zelda games from beginning to end, or from first to last. And it's like, it wasn't on YouTube, it wasn't on Twitch. They just hosted it on their own website. And that was like mind-blowing to me at a younger age. The earliest YouTube video I remember? Oh no. I think it's the video where it's Link from Ocarina of Time, and it's doing like the chest opening animation, the one that takes like 15 seconds, and it slowly zooms into it. But then, like, rather than it being the item from the game, it's a bomb and he blows up. Charlie the Unicorn, that is a classic also. Oh. Salad Fingers. Yeah, I never really cared for that one too much. Got plenty of memories of doing stupid stuff, making catapults, sharpening sticks. Yeah, the good old times. Do you guys ever nostalgia bait yourself? I always ask this question to, like, different friends of mine, and they always say no. And maybe I'm just not explaining it well enough, but there are these videos on YouTube where it's just like, it's weird liminal type music, and then they show just like almost a slideshow of images of things from like the 90s, like an arcade with like the weird confetti carpet and it's empty, or a shopping mall during Christmas time, and it's just like it's just like 3 minutes of that, and it's nice. It's like, oh, I remember that. I remember when I didn't know what taxes were. I do love nostalgia. Why else would we have memories if not to remember things? Also, I'm looking up like what's the best way to do this is, and I was hesitant to do that because I know there's probably a super clean way to do this, but I liked my way of doing it. I just want to figure out what the best way to do it my way is. It's kind of like recommending I make a new actor called like the level manager. But I don't really want to do that because all it would do is just call update progress or state update, which I'm already doing here from this. On post load map with world. Here we go. Don't know if that's right. Good night, Maddie. No Wednesday stream this week, sorry to say. I enjoy being adult, I don't enjoy the current cult. Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah. Is this only in actors? No, I think it was... Ugh. Oh, it's C++ only. I don't know if this is right. I don't know if this is right. Maybe just the level blueprint then. Which would be kind of annoying because then I'll have to remember to do this for all of the other ones, but if the game instance doesn't have a way of doing this, then this seems the best way to do this. Let's first check to see if post level, no, I didn't think so. Late. Add event. Alright, let's see what the events, what events we have. Event level reset. Oh. The event only fires on the server. When restarting a level without reloading, not quite. To reset to its when this actor is reset to its initial state. Nah, I don't think so. I think we do want begin play. The issue is, I don't know if this is going to be called first. Event tick. Maybe do once. And then here, I think I want to make a restore. There might be, I might need to reevaluate this, but future problem. Can I not loop? Through a map? Huh? Okay, what can I do? Find provided key. Hey, Rav, how you doing? Who's my favorite Amazing Digital Circus character? Ooh, that's kind of tough. King Rourke's pretty cool. I like him a lot. Okay, is this the best way to get a value? I'm guessing it is. Values. Outputs an array of all values. No, but it doesn't give me the, Actually, keys. This is what I want. For each of my keys. Interactables, and I'll make a new folder called state only. Interactable interface. I didn't think so. Just basic actor then. BP state. No, let's see. Interactable. Let's just do interactable state. Lights. Light singular. And then you have an interface. How's the plan going? Pretty good. Also, hey Raph, I don't know if I said hello already. My mind is kind of scattered. Plan is planning. Yep. That's what it be doing. Alright, light. Do point light. And then set visibility. To new visibility. Okay. And then this one, this begin play, we don't do anything. I'm gonna keep this code here just in case I need it later. A successful interaction, so this does update all of these correctly. Powered lights. That scared me. Get all actors of class with tag. I don't need to do this. And instead, I can blow that away. I can set progress. And then uncompleted, I just do state update. Actually, not uncompleted. Just do it here. Oh, why not? Oh, whoops, sorry about that. Why not? Cannot order parameters new state in function actor state update. Where is this? Huh? Please validate us. I see you. I feel bad to interrupt you. You're locked in. No, we're good. We're good. We're good. What's the issue? Why are we having issues? Actor state update. Okay, why? You gonna start bullying Raph? Uh-oh. Cannot order parameters. New state. In function, actor state update. What does that mean? Gotta Google this again. With ordering parameters typically occur in Blueprint material, the solution depends on which system you're using. Blueprints, yes. Use the handlebar. In the details panel, you can click this to reorder inputs. There's nothing wrong with the order. Actor state update. Hmm. That's what happens when I neglect my stream children. Okay. So there's a potential problem. And I think if I had to guess, that it's just confused. So I'm gonna close it and I'm gonna reopen. I think it's confused because I updated the parameters after I compiled and then I compiled again. And sometimes the hot reload gets scared and it doesn't like when I do that. So you guys are gonna look at a black screen for the next 10 seconds. I lied. It was less than 10. 17 editors open. I should close some of those. I don't need the behaviors. I don't need I don't need possible observations. I don't need. That might be good to have. That might be good to have. I don't need that. 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 I want that. Don't need this. Don't need this. Okay. Item used on. Aha, see? Now it's fine. Okay, so this, I think, is fine. So I can go ahead and delete all these. Except you. Let's change the light color. And this is the part where it's kind of annoying to do. Can I add a tag? Hold on, let's see. Add tag? Gameplay tag. Can I add an actor tag? To self? Is it a gameplay tag? Oh no, that's a tag container. Get some sleep, username. Have a good one. Unreal Engine 5, add actor tag. In Blueprint. Ah, there it is. Sweet. We're actually going to do this during the constructor. Add. This is all just so I don't have to type the name in manually, and instead I get a nice, neat little drop-down list. So from here, progress tag. Oh. That's not a clean name. That's better. Which means this might be cooked. Hold on. All actors of class with tag. We're going to want to do this. Instead. And I have a feeling that's not alone. And I don't think this used it, but I'll double check. No, okay. Oh. Oh, no, it just looks at the progress key. It doesn't actually do it. Have a good night, Raph. Thank you for dropping by. Have a good night. Okay. So the way that this works is this is an interactable thing. We actually don't need these tags. So the thing you interact with doesn't use a tag. But the progress tracker item says that this is point A. So when when this is triggered, when we unlock this door, point A is now true. Which means anything that's tagged with being a state update on point A would also execute its update function. In this case, it's a light that turns on when point A becomes true. We're going to set its visibility to false right now, just so its default state is off. We can see this work. Now, interacting with it doesn't do anything. Okay, kind of. It did the first one, but not the others. I wonder if that's a copy-paste issue. It might be. Why is it selecting all of them? What? Oh, that's weird. Why did it do that? Is it because I had like the light bulb selected instead of the full actor? I think that's probably why. Let's make sure the tag is right. I did it again. What? Duplicate the actor. There we go. That's weird. Ooh, what? Oh, every time it moves. Okay. We definitely don't want it to do add. We want it to do clear. Clear than add. That keeps it clean. Okay. Nice. And then if we do a restart level. Okay, that didn't persist, and I think that's because I didn't update the level blueprint to actually do it. There it is, okay. Now we want to call the restore saved states, which should just be restore saved states. Lights turn on. restart the level, simulate loading it and loading out to a new level and loading back into this one. And it didn't seem to do it. Is it because of the do once? Or is it because it's just not hitting this? Or that would be the same thing. Is it because my restore function doesn't work correctly? Because that could be it too. Because restart level should definitely bring it back. Okay, so it's hitting it. It's doing what it needs to do. Bring that back. And let me also just Google to make sure that event tick plays after begin play. Oh, that's why. How do I get world? I don't know if I can do this. Let's try this in the game instance. I might be misunderstanding. What are you doing? But I think this is part of the UI in Unity. I don't know. Maybe Unreal Engine has the same. Trying to get it so that when the level is restarted, all the data that it's written to in the prior to the restart is then brought back. Get world. So not reset. I'm not sure what you mean by not reset. Maybe if I jump back to that visual, it'll make more sense. So during gameplay, like you power on the generator, and then the light turns on. You leave this level to somewhere else. At some point later on, let's say you come back. You already solved the generator puzzle. The lights are already turned on, but its default state is 0. So when you come back, if I didn't update this somehow, all of the lights would be off because it goes back to its default when it loads back in. And so, I need a way to say, hey, this level's been loaded again. If any information has been written about any of the actor's previous states, load that back in immediately. I'm already saving the states, yeah. There's not like a it doesn't seem like there's a full-on save the level. You have to just save values and individually load them. On world begin play. This seems to be the call I want. Unreal Engine 5 on world begin play in blueprints. We use get streaming level and is level visible in a blueprint delay loop. Wait for all pending streaming levels to return true, then call our own callback. The load stream level node itself is a latent action that will execute its completed node when the level is done streaming. There are some delegates on the U level streaming base object you could investigate. People like to give all these complex answers, and it's like, it's annoying. Just give me something simple. This shouldn't be this intense. This seems simple. It should, right? The issue is, like, let's say with this. I already have the restore function, right? It's here. So I just need to call this when the level restarts. It's that last condition that's tough. And if I'm not careful about how I execute that last condition, it might lead to some issues. I don't know when this plays. If I called it here, which is kind of what I'm doing, there's no guarantee, or at least it's not obvious to me, if this gets called. Oh, the last condition is restore my save states, right? When the level restarts, is reloaded, restore all my states. This, though, will only restore states that it can see if the object exists. If the object isn't done loading yet, it won't restore it. That's called a race condition, to where it's trying to access something that hasn't finished setting itself up yet. So I want to wait to call this before all of the actors that are queued in to load on level restart are done with their own begin play functions, or at least their own constructors. Once all the levels, or once all of the actors are loaded in, then I can go back and load them correctly. Keep the info that's already there? Yeah. So let's go back to the light example. Let's say these boxes represent lights. And let's say also in this condition, or this example, that not all the lights are turned on, right? Player turns this light on, this light on, this light on. They then leave the level, and all of this gets erased, and they come back. Now, when they come back, we want to turn the lights back on in the way that the player left it. So that theoretically seems simple, because I'm keeping track of which of these lights are turned on already. I just need to go back and update these 3. Why does it get erased, though? Because you left the level. Anytime when you just keep the state, no. You can't. I'll show you. As a player, if I go from the intro level to the mansion, and then back to the intro level, everything that I did at that intro level gets reset to its default value. It doesn't save it. I have to go back and update it. So the things that I do in that level don't persist. The second issue to this is if I try to update all of these before they're done spawning in. Let's say it's only gotten to those first 3 before it spawns in. It'll only turn that first light on, and then it'll think, okay, my job is done, I've finished restoring it, and then the remaining 3 load in. Which means there are lights that haven't been turned on yet. I do want to keep the states. But the game doesn't do that. I have to manually program that in. Right? So we have level 1. Let's say this is the lab. And we have level 2 is the mansion. At some point, the players go from the lab to the mansion, but they can also come back. If they open a door in the lab, they go back to the mansion. When they come back to the lab, that door should still be open. This does not happen automatically. The moment you leave the lab, all of that data gets wiped. Whatever the players do in that level, Unreal Engine does not save it. It's the equivalent of like closing the game. So I have to manually go back and make it seem like it's saved. Is this just for blueprints? I feel like you could straight code it easily enough. Well, what are you thinking? Because, I've already got that implementation down here with the blueprint stuff. Like, the actual level loading is done. I just need to make sure I'm loading it at the correct time to prevent a race condition. Because how would you code that? I guess just like theoretically. Why it wipes the state between levels? It doesn't. Let's see if we can get a good answer to that. I know the answer, I just don't know how to explain it, so I'm asking internet. Because when you leave a level in Unreal Engine, that level is usually destroyed, and when you come back to Unreal, it creates a new, fresh copy of it. So the actors are not being remembered, they're being spawned again from their default state. When you use something like open level, the current world is unloaded, actors in that world are destroyed, the map is loaded again. New actor instances are created from the map data blueprint defaults. That means things like a door you opened, a light you turned off, an enemy you killed, a generator you powered on, all go back to whatever their defaults are, unless you save the state somewhere else and restore it. If the level seems different from when you return, it's usually because one or more of these things are happening. An actor only lives in the loaded world it belongs to. If that world goes away, the actor goes away too. What persists? Game instance, which is this object here, during the current play session, and saved games, which is across, so pretty much this, but it also persists in closing it. So we need to save important states in the game instance, which we're doing here with the progress tracker, which is this. In this case, rather than it saying point A, it would say door A, generator 1, generator 2. In this case, generator 1 all power the same set of lights, so I don't need to say light 1, light 2, light 3, light 4, but lights 1 through 4 all get powered on when generator 1 does. But my very simple games just keep the game data. I don't really know a bunch about levels. I just use different scenes in Unity. I think those are the same, aren't they? Persistence mode. In Unity scenes, you can load multiple scenes additively very commonly. Scenes can stay loaded together easily. Objects can persist via don't destroy on load. Unreal Engine's levels, by default, loading a level replaces the entire world. Everything gets destroyed unless stored somewhere else. Persistence is handled via game instances, saved games, level streaming. This is why you're seeing actor states reset. In Unity, scene is more like a flexible container. Systems often live inside scenes. Unreal Engine level is more like a snapshot of the world. Systems are expected to live in the game instance, the game mode, and the subsystems. Player credentials or their load data. The issue right now isn't determining when, or isn't determining if the level's been reloaded. That's actually pretty easy. It's here on begin play. If this gets called, that means that the level's been loaded fresh. But we have to avoid a race condition, which is we want to make sure that we're not loading or trying to load something that isn't done being rebuilt yet. Because on reload, it's having to build everything from the ground up again, but it builds it at different times. So if it spawns the player in before it spawns the lights, and the player is the one responsible for loading things, it'll try to load lights that don't exist yet. And so I have to wait until all of the levels, or all of the actors are loaded in first. Would you save an instance to the player? I would save its inventory and its the player's like stats to the game instance, but not to the player itself. The players don't persist either, as far as I'm aware. It would reset all of its stuff again. So I have to use the game instance to keep track of the player's inventory, and then when the player loads into a new level, give the items back to the player. So it does look like there's not really anything super clean, so I'll just do this, kind of what I was doing before. Maybe I can use a gate. And have it be on out too. Instead of erase data at the end, would you just have a load data at the beginning? I mean, yeah, that's what we're doing here. We're loading the data. That's what this restore saved states is doing. So, we're storing the saved states anytime it gets changed throughout the level. And then when the levels spawned and created new, we need to restore all of the saved states. The erasing isn't something that I do. That's something Unreal Engine does. I think this will work, and I think the issue wasn't this, because this was still getting printed out. And we can quickly do a sanity check here. Okay, yep, it only spawns once. That's good. That's what I wanted. This... So we're getting all of the keys. We're getting all actors with tag. Actor state update. Ooh. This is wrong. This should be... This is restore. We want the opposite of what we're doing here. Nope. Here. Not set progress. Get progress, I think is what we want. There we go. So now, let's open, the lights turn on. We then simulate loading out of the level and loading back in. The light stayed on, and the door didn't, because the door isn't assigned the correct... Restart. Item used on. Interfaces interaction. Actor state update. No. Wait. Okay, actor state update. I don't want this as a function. I want this as an event. How do I do that? Have a good night, OMS. Actually, we want to do a check. Branch. And then we do tag. I might want to apply this, or have this be something that all things have. Part of their constructor. I'm gonna have to probably change this slightly a little bit. Does Unreal Engine show the game data in the user interface? You mean like in this panel here? Yeah? Kind of. Only like wherever I decide to write it. So Like, for instance, right now, I have this in my inventory. When I reload the level, I'm not gonna have this. But if I go to, like, my player... Let's see. My player controller, I can then go to the inventory manager, and there it is. Like, there's my key item. But on level restart, so there we have it. We open the doors and whatnot. On level restart, I don't know if it's case sensitive. There it is. So that just simulated I left this level, went to like the mansion level, then came back. We can see, we click on the player again, and we go down to their inventory manager. It doesn't have any inventory items. And I can confirm this again by going in and opening my inventory, and it's gone. And so this door and these lights would still be closed and off too if I didn't save it somewhere that didn't get erased when the level got destroyed. Because the game instance stays alive until I close the game. I'll also have to have it towards like these key items, like the pickups, go away. Because now I picked up a key that I can't use anywhere because the one place I was able to use it, I can't use it anymore because it's already been used. So it's a lot of things to have to keep track of, which is kind of why I think a lot of the indie games that we play, especially the ones that use Unreal Engine, don't use different levels. It all just exists in the same level. Let me look through my indie game list and we can kind of confirm. Cry of Fear has different levels, so that's not a great example, but that's also a very different engine that might have a better way of persisting things. All of the Fears to Fathom games, I don't think any of those have an inventory, and even if they did, I don't think they load into different levels all that often, if at all. What other indie games? Even something like Garden of Banban. Like, that one I think does have different levels loaded, but they would have to do the same thing where things get restored. Lethal Company. I don't know what engine that uses, but that definitely does have different levels. Although in Lethal Company, you can't go back to the same level that you were before. You can go back to like the same moon, but it's going to be a different level. All the stuff you did there is gone. It seems like a bad aspect of Unreal Engine. I feel like most engines would do this. I guess Unity's scenes don't. Voyager 19, that's just a story game. There's like no inventory there, nothing to really keep track of. So we're successfully loading and unloading the doors and the lights now. I want to look back at what it was saying about why Unity doesn't do this. You can load multiple scenes additively very commonly. Objects can persist via don't destroy on load. Alright, let's read this. Unity's model, the scene is persistent unless I explicitly destroy things. Unreal's model is the level's disposable persistent state lives elsewhere. Neither is objectively better, they just optimize for different things. Why Unreal does this and why it's not actually worse. Unreal separates data from instances. In Unreal Engine, a level is a template and a snapshot, actors are temporary instances. Game instance and save game is the true state. That separation gives you cleaner save and reload systems, deterministic resets, important for debugging, easier networking, huge reason, and then less hidden state bugs. Unity often lets state leak through scenes, which can get messy in large projects. Multiplayer is a huge reason. Unreal was built with multiplayer in mind from the start. If levels automatically preserved state, syncing state across clients would be harder, resetting worlds would be inconsistent, authority systems would get messy. So Unreal forces you to be explicit. What should persist? Store it yourself. You actually can preserve level state in Unreal, just not with open level. If you're using level streaming or world partition, then levels can stay loaded, actors are not destroyed, state is preserved automatically. This behaves closer to Unity's additive scenes. So Unity by default has easy persistence but can create hidden state bugs and harder to control lifecycle cleanly. In Unreal Engine, clean lifecycle, explicit persistence, better for larger systems, requires more setup. With Unreal's approach, you get total control over what persists, no accidental leftover state, clean save and load system, easier debugging. Why is this door open? Checked saved state. Yeah, so because I'm designing a very system-heavy game with a lot of behavior tracking, puzzle persistence, and revisitable levels, even though it's a lot of overhead just to get this to work initially, I think ultimately the payoff here is better. I mean, great questions, though. I didn't even know Unity has that kind of persistence. So thank you for teaching me something new. We're about 2 hours in, which is usually where I wrap up. So, I think this is a good spot. I think there are a couple of other things I want to clean up. This, I think I'm happy with. This I'm happy with. This I'm not. I might want to... The issue is these don't have a parent class besides actor. And so... I might revisit how I'm saving these two values down here, the array of progress tracked items and the progress tag, but just for reusability. As it is now, there aren't any bugs with it. And I thank you for dropping by, Nibble. I appreciate all the feedback and questions. It helps internalize a lot of this stuff for me too. So just kind of being able to talk through it, even if it might seem redundant to you, none of the questions you asked tonight were useless. I'm glad you asked them. So thank you for being here. Thank you for chatting. Everyone here that was here tonight too. I think a lot of you are gone at this point. But I appreciate everyone who's able to drop by and watch. I see 4 of you on Twitch. So you too, especially. I need to add to the titles at some point that I dual stream. That way Twitch people don't think I'm talking to myself again. Okay, no stream this Wednesday. So I will likely see you again Saturday. That's the plan. Saturday at 11 PT. It is a holiday weekend, and I do have plans Saturday evening. I just don't know when they start. But if it conflicts too much, I'll just ping the Discord and give a new schedule update there. But tentatively, I will see you this Saturday at 11 in the morning, PT. Okay, you guys have a fantastic week. Do the best you can. And I'll see you all at the end of the week. Have a good night.